If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the Filthy Capitalist option. As Sori says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and you get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at villageXchange@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go on the village, facebook.com/Vin and Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch, you need to tell them.
To buy our merch.
Yes, dear listener. We are on to song numero 5. Misery business.
What's up?
Archivist. Oh, that's an interesting name.
The name of the song is Ascension.
Ascension, dear listener.
The comment says, I was introduced to Archivist by Middle Earth when we had a discussion about side projects of Alex CF from Fall of
Ephrafa.
When you reacted to once. Which you have reacted to once. I listened to the album from which this song is from, and the opening song sold it to me right away.
Okay.
Alas, there's no signature, so we don't know who was speaking to Middle.
I'm going to go ahead and say this is Misery.
Ooh.
Misery Biz, right? All right, here we go. Archivist Ascension. Let's go. Shout out to Revo in the Gulf of Mexico. Let's
Not missing much, Revo.
How dare you be so disloyal to Maine? Tell me he's not missing much. How dare you? How dare you?
There's like 5 days a year that you're missing out big time on.
It's true. Okay. Yep.
musically, the way that one started out was like so deep. You just like felt it, man. Just it like made you stop and just like feel it, experience it. And then I was hoping there was going to be like some sort of screaming vocal style, and then that the vocal style started, and I was like, okay, you know, maybe a little bit more screamy than I would have expected, but I still really liked it. It kind of sounds like he's, to be honest with you, the poetic way that he wrote, I didn't like completely understand. It just sounds like he's going through a lot of like really difficult stuff, and like to the point where, because he says all is lost yet I live. So I don't know if like circumstance and stuff has basically like killed him, but he's still like alive. But he writes really poetically, and like as he's like saying it, like I loved what he was saying, but I don't know, like our once beautiful manna blisters, erodes, and hark. Like obviously the manna is what God sent to feed his people, and they could only take what was there. But he says our once beautiful manna blisters, erodes, and hark. I don't know if this is
well, the manna, when they kept it for the next day, spoiled.
Right.
So he's talking about the manna spoiling. Right, spoiled manna, it's blistered and whatever. So it's the thing that he was, feeding on and depending on is gone. So, all is lost, yet I live. Like, the first, you almost have to have a PhD in, the faintest transcendent shudders infinitesimal, the weightless consequence of T-5 to pre-ignites upon quantum insurgence. So,
sounds like a rocket.
Yeah, he's using a rocket as a metaphor, I think, for self-murder. So I think the takeoff at the end of the song is him, doing himself in or whatever.
Oh.
Says he talks about the weightless consequence of T-5. So
wow.
He's thinking that this takeoff is going to make him weightless, which is what happens when you're in a rocket and you're 0G, right? So you become weightless when you take off.
Yeah.
And so I just thought that was brilliant. I remember being a kid in a portable in Port Malabar Elementary, and the spaceship was going up from Cape Canaveral. And they're like, yo, the shit's going up. We're going outside to see it. I'm like, man, you ain't seeing no spaceship. That shit's crazy, bro. They're like, what are you talking about? We're in Florida. Like, literally, you can see this. I'm like, man, y'all ain't seen no shuttle go up. That shit is on TV. They're like, literally, dude, everybody's going outside right now. Wow. They're going outside.
Yeah, and then you
went outside. Sure enough, I said, motherfucker.
How often did you see that thing go off?
It was incredible. I couldn't believe it. I don't remember. I think I saw it twice, 3 times.
Wow.
And it was T-10, 9, 8. I don't know why they did really? T- or T. I think it's time minus 10, 9, 8, whatever.
Takeoff minus.
Yeah. 5th grade field trip, Kennedy Space Center. 5th freaking grade, baby. Gang shit. Here we go. But yeah, man, like he's using the rocket analogy, I think, as a like I said, when you're talking about offering himself.
Jesus, okay. Why do you say is all is lost yet I live then?
Because I don't think that's a good line. I think he's saying he lost everything and now he still has to be alive, man. That shit is. So he says quantum insurgence, which is kind of like at the quantum level you can't see it type of thing. It's mega small, and I think it's kind of like that unseen part of him that's either a chemical imbalance because you can't really see it. But the big crazy thing about quantum physics that screws with everybody's mind is that there seems to be like an entire world inside of these like infinitesimally small kind of that make a lot of weird ramifications for things. And honestly, like if you go down that quantum rabbit hole, man, like you start to realize like there's a reason dudes go to school for like 12, 15 years. Like, I get it. Like, people, somebody wrote the book of like, there's a book called The Death of Expertise, where because people think they have Google and Wikipedia, they think they know as much as a Harvard-trained physicist on whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was in a debate one. It was literally a moderated debate. This guy brought up, I'm not going to talk about the topic, but he brought up Wikipedia. And I said, Wikipedia? And he got but that's the time that we're in. But when you start hearing these dudes talk about quantum theory and all the rest of it, you start blacking out after like 3 minutes. Like, what, and then like you listen, like, okay, I'm going to dedicate an entire day to 12 hours of shit. Boom, it's in my head. And you're like, oh, okay, I got it, okay. Then the next day you listen to the next quantum physicist, like, this guy says X, Y, Z, and here's why he's wrong. And then he proceeds to like destroy the 12-hour thing that you listened to the day before.
Oh no.
So, but my point on all that is just to say, like, when he said the quantum insurgence, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna like simplify this as best as I possibly can. I think what he's saying is that there's an indiscernible part of him that is at war with him that's going to end up killing him, and that's what an insurgency is. It's a sort of like underground, undercover cell type organization that attacks and when you don't know it. And so if you have a sort of chemical imbalance or anything like that, it kind of attacks, it kind of operates like an insurgent. And chemically at a physical level, like that shit can change you, obviously. And then there's also kind of like spiritual ideas or whatever. But that's kind of how I took quantum insurgence. The incendiary elegance of my brilliant white light, the buffeted plumage, combustion enwraps me, and I quake as I stand and hold myself close. And I think what's going on there is his depression and the things that are leading him to this destructive path are also what makes him stand out and makes him a musician. Because he's literally writing songs right now, and so his plumage is being demonstrated to everybody. ¿Cuál es vuestra fe? No hablemos de opinión. Well, I'm listening to you, bro, but you're not speaking the same language as everybody else, you know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to, like, do both, you know what I'm saying? Okay. So it looks like he's saying the incendiary elegance of my brilliant white light, the buffeted plumage, combustion enwraps me as I quake as I stand and hold myself close. The closeness surrounds cocoon in my comfort. Our bidding is done and our freeze is land. So it looks like he's saying the music that he makes and the things that he does is beautiful on the outside because it's bright plumage, plumage but it's the thing that's also killing him. And so it's kind of this ironic thing, but then he finds himself alone. So he says, and I quake as I stand and hold myself close. That means he's alone. He's quaking, but he's standing. So you see all these like opposites happening.
Yeah.
All is lost, see how I live. Quake as I stand, like he's shivering, but he's standing, and he holds himself close. And the closeness surrounds cocooned in my comfort. So he's getting to the point where being alone comforts him. Because he's saying he holds himself close. Usually when you're quaking and some horrible thing is happening, somebody that you love should be holding you close, but he's got nobody. He'll hold himself close. But look what he says. The closest surrounds cocooned in my comfort. Then he says, our bidding is done, set free of this land. And so he's comforting himself with the idea that he could be set free from this land at some point. All is lost and yet I live, so he's not able to get out of there yet. And then, I think some people, I think there's a lot of danger in minds like this because they can make offing yourself sound romantic. Like Jet says, I have nobody. Yo, I get you. I'm supposed to be like, yo, you got us. But internet friends are not enough sometimes, man. Sometimes you need like literal physical, So Jet, I'm sorry you're in that situation. All I can say to you is a lot of us are in that situation, and I think we found each other, and we're all trying to make a best of like the not best situation until we can get some, physical human beings to be around us. You see what I'm saying? So, I would say you got us. Not much, but we're here. And you're here with us, so we appreciate it. We don't take it for granted, for sure. Heated ablution, man. This guy, man. Okay, so ablutions are kind of like ritual washings for purity before you go do something.
Okay.
So like with the Muslims when they do this with the and all
yeah.
that's literally wudu in Arabic literally means ablution.
Okay.
Okay, and so it's a ritual washing that you do to cleanse yourself physically, but metaphorically, spiritually.
Mm-hmm.
And in some religions, it's something that you do before you go to die. And in other religions, it's the last thing that happens. Your body gets washed, especially in Islam. They will wash your body in like the day that you die, and they bury you and all the rest of it. So there is some sort of death kind of illusion there, like the body's being prepared for burial type of thing. And look, like this is crazy. So the world we once owned, our once beautiful manna, blisters and erodes, and hark, the bold introduction and unwilling demise, so sour is the silence of my closeted fate. So earlier he was saying that he was cocooned and comfortable in being alone, but now it says the once beautiful manner blistered erodes, and hark, the unwilling demise, so sour is the silence. So that was the moment where the manna, he was feeding on his own isolation and comfort in that, and at that point it stopped working. Wow. And when that starts working, then it's over with. The light breaks in patterns with fingers I trace to strain to make out the striation of fractures that tide now of violence as the earth falls away. And that's basically when he makes the decision, and whatever. I mean, lyrically, man, this guy, like, nobody can touch this dude, especially tonight. This was this was incredible. Man, lyrically, man, this song was heavy as hell, bro. It's a silent count for me. And that's as much as I'll say about that.
9.8 for me. I thought it was a good one, and it was very artistic, and I appreciated it. It was a hard listen. It was also very beautiful at points. Interesting to put such beauty behind like a song of destruction.
Skylar gave it 11. Holy shit.
It's a good one for sure.
Yeah, man, that song that will hit you if you got ears to hear it for sure. Commercial break, be right back.